Whether you're an individual contributor or leading a large organization, I promise you the next couple of minutes can help you look at things perhaps a little different than you have before based on 40 years of experience in the IT community. I think you're going to find that my approach here, as seen on the screen, between individual motivation, team collaboration, and leadership accountability will help any organization drive results by approximately 35% increase on the productivity of your staff while still delivering to them a quality way of life. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right to it. So you have to start this discussion at individual motivation. What does it take to motivate an individual to continue to do what you need them to do? Well, we know absolutely that financial rewards or the hope of financial rewards, promotions, things of that nature, huge motivator. That's why sales organizations and sales makers really thrive in these environments, because there's always the hope of something else. But what do you do in an environment that is not oriented on a sales focus? Perhaps you're in a federal or state organization. Perhaps you're in a corporation that, yes, it's important to improve the bottom line and to make things more efficient so that you can be more productive for the organization. But ultimately, does that really translate to pure hope for you as an individual contributor or you as a leader leading a group of contributors? In most cases, it does not. But there is a way to accomplish this objective, and that is to provide clear and concise task management. And task management is not designed for the big brother or big sister to look over your shoulder, see what you're doing at all times, and increase your workload. Those that consider task management to be that, to be more of a punitive instrument, probably need to reconsider the way you look at task management. Task management is a motivator. It's an organizer. It allows us to truly see what needs to be done and actually get things done. Now, I know that a lot of us live within our inbox. We have this inbox that's just a demoralizing activity because it's constantly being fed by somewhere else, and we're constantly trying to answer the mail and get things done. When you can flip those things, and I've discussed this on several videos, between the discovery and execution mode, so encourage your staff to go from discovery, which is reading email, quickly get through what is quote unquote noise or not as important that requires action. Separate those type of emails quickly and easily and have a strategy to do that. And on my channel, if you search for planner or any of those type of task accountability, you'll see those videos as well. But so how do we shift? How do we make this shift, and why is it so important? Well, the individual contributor, all of us, leaders or individual contributors, we want the sense of accomplishment. We want to know that what we're doing makes a difference. That in and of itself is a huge motivator. So if I'm working on a project, for example, that is a huge project that the organization, maybe 100 people in the organization are working the same project, how do I, as contributor number 42, how do I feel part of that project? Well, I do that through task management. I do that through the delegation and receiving of tasks that are in small bite-sized pieces that I can get the reward perhaps many times in a given day. I can get the reward of clicking on that completed box, knowing that I just completed one small step into accomplishing that larger project. That subconscious, for some people, look and perspective and action that they can do will drive productivity through the roof. It really will have an impact because we're feeling the instant reward. Now, this does not mean that we shouldn't reward our individual contributors, especially those that are going above the call of duty. Absolutely, those are critical things as well. But we as individuals like that ability to just simply click on the box and say completed. And task management provides that for us. Additionally, task management provides air cover or protection in the actions that have been taken. Within the information technology industry, now this may be true for other groups as well, change is difficult. And for IT professionals, we implement change. We're change agents. And so that always comes with high emotion from the people that are asking to change, right? They're being introduced to new software, new processes and policies. So how do you protect yourself in those situations where feelings are a little more volatile, and we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing? We do that through task management because we can document everything that we're working on. We have a single point of reference. Instead of having it mixed up in emails or, yeah, I think I did that, it's all documented within tasks. So as an individual motivation, we use task management to really help manage expectations of our customers and deliver the things that we need to. Well, let's move on to the next topic, which is team collaboration. I promise I won't spend as much time on this area. Individual motivation is the core of this chart of being able to collaborate with the team and then having leadership accountability. Team collaboration, it's said that in 2020, the average employee spends 1.5 hours a day finding information. Now, I don't know if that statistic is true or not, but I think to myself, when I'm trying to work on something, how long does it take me to actually find it? So ask yourself this question, and I think you'll find that 1.5 hours is pretty close over the entire day. Imagine now taking that and increasing productivity. Let's say now it only takes you 15 minutes a day to find things. We can do this through team collaboration. Remember, the task becomes that single source of information. Within the task, now many task managers are different. There's lots of them out there. My references are to Microsoft Planner, and on the screen, reference Microsoft Planner there in the upper left-hand corner. You can see I can delegate, but more importantly, I can add comments. Of course, we've talked about that, but I can add attachments as well, and I can add URLs. So this makes finding information much, much easier for everybody that's working on that task, not necessarily on that project, but on the task. You know, a lot of times we may have a SharePoint site, for example, that we're dumping artifacts to. That's a good start, but it's not what we need to do from a task management perspective. We need to be able to capture that information quickly and easily in a consistent and repeatable manner. And that's what tasks allow us to do. I can search for a very specific action item and find the files that are directly associated with that action item. Now, I can also do the latter, which is to look in SharePoint, for example, in a Microsoft environment for that specific file that's being shared in that huge directory that the entire team shares. I can do that as well. It's just, it's just when it's associated with a task, it makes it much easier. The second key attribute of team collaboration and task management, certainly a great feature found within Planner, is the ability to send email when tasks are modified. Now, I will tell you that there are multiple programs out there, ClickUp, Monday, Asana, all of them have very similar features. I'm speaking to Microsoft Planner because that's what my job uses. So I could easily flip to any one of the task managers because they're all very similar. But one of the great features of task management is the ability to collaborate on the tasks that are being done. Take, for example, a team of 100 people. This team has been working together for, let's just say, 6 months on a very specific outcome. Now, many people on that team have been with the organization for many years. 2 individuals on the team have been assigned a specific task to get done. Let's say they're working on the best way to change a tire. So they're working on how to change a tire and running tests and using robots and doing all kinds of fun things. Now, as they're updating the task, the 100 people working on the final objective or the project, they're all seeing the actions that are being taken by others. They don't have to directly involve themselves, as illustrated here in the lower right-hand corner. They get an email message. It says, hey, Joe Snuffy just added this comment. And the comment may be brief, and it gives a little URL, as you see there highlighted in blue. They can just click on that URL and go to the specifics of the task, but more importantly, they can see the little bit of an update, hit reply to all, and actually add their comments to the task thread as well. So as other members of the team work on that task, it gets delegated to multiple people, right? It's got to go to programming and cyber and robotics and the tire company. As you kind of delegate and move that task, well, all of those comments become part of that record, the documentation for that record. And that becomes priceless. Now I can come up to speed quickly as a leader of the organization. I can look up a specific thing or task that needed to be accomplished and see exactly what actions have been taken, what questions, and I can troubleshoot where maybe I need to add additional resources in order to get a task done on a more compressed time schedule. I have the data that I can make those decisions, and team collaboration absolutely brings that function to the table and to your organization, and it will cut down, I promise, it will cut down on the number of meetings that you need to have to do follow-up on items that are being accomplished because the team already has all the information. So team collaboration absolutely will drive a better product, make the team more efficient, and cut down on the number of meetings needed. Leadership accountability is really the last area that we'll discuss during this video. Leadership accountability really is that transparency throughout the organization that the tasks are being accomplished. Look, the reality is that when people experience change, their anxiety levels go through the roof. Nobody likes change. I don't like change. So why we would assume that everybody likes it is wrong. So what we need to do is counteract that, and we can do that through task accountability and transparency. In other words, everyone in the organization, I have 100 people working on a specific project. There may be thousands of people in the organization. Remember, in the absence of knowledge comes chaos. And what happens is people always, not always, but people tend to assume the worst. They assume that everything's not going well because their team members, especially as a leader, their team members are telling them, oh, this isn't working right and that isn't working right. And the reason why the team members are doing that, sometimes the items are not working, but in most cases, it's because the team member is uncomfortable with the change. And so they're talking to the leader, and the leader of the organization, this is one of many things the leader is responsible for. The expectation is not that the leader will be the expert in all things technical. They're a leader, a business leader. They're going to know how to drive down costs, how to increase accountability, and how to look at resources and plan and strategize on getting more resources to do the job properly. But they may not, nor is it expected for them to understand how those two widgets go together or how they work together. That's not important. So as an individual contributor, as a team member, and as a leader, it's nice to be able to have that system of record, to be able to provide for other leaders that full transparency that things are being worked on and that things are bound up maybe within other organizations. So you can send tasks and reporting based on the data collected within the tasks and your team collaboration and be able to analyze where more resources are needed. You can see where things are falling down, where things need to improve. You get the story. Huge from a leadership accountability and the strength of a leader to be able to do these things. The last thing on leadership accountability is when issues do occur, and they will occur, instead of the meeting being contentious and often filled with misinformation and partial information about the truth, here in task management, because all of the data is collected and centralized, it's very difficult to debate what's written down and what the truth is, because most people are not being dishonest. They want to do the right thing, and they're just documenting things within the task that are actually occurring. Well, when a debate comes up, it's very easy just to pull that data and say, hey, look, let's go ahead and look at the tasks associated with that objective and working together with other leaders. What do we need to do to make this better? And it becomes very apparent where the problems occur. Now, often in information technology, they blame information technology because nobody understands it. And again, it's because of the change and people's anxiety related to change. But when you present the facts, present the documentation, it's easy to see where the issues arise. And I have found in my almost over now 40 years of experience doing this level of work that almost always leaders of other organizations and individuals simply want to do the right thing. And when you show them that you have it all documented and all the data is where it's supposed to be, it becomes very easy for the entire team to be successful.